So I've heard like that there are a lot of fruits, that children and mothers can consume,
Yeah.
right, to get all these nutrients, not just only food, right?
Yes.
But what fruits should I avoid? First, as a pregnant woman, but also as a nursing mother, like, because we hear that there are some fruits that pregnant women, for instance, shouldn't take. So,
Mm-hmm.
what fruits do you think? And I don't know if this is a fact or a myth. I'm
Mm-hmm.
just, So, what fruits do you think that pregnant women and nursing mothers like should avoid?
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So first of all, I don't think there's any fruits that we can hammer on. Fruits are not bad, but then it's how we take them and in what way we are taking them. So for example, one common one we've all had is pineapple. And a lot of people say, "Oh, don't take pineapple
Yes.
at all during pregnancy." Yes, they contain bromelain, which can trigger contractions. But then, before you can get that quantity of bromelain, you have to be able to eat a lot of pineapples.
Hmm.
So definitely, it's okay to take pineapples, but in very little quantities, like maybe tiny little chunks, and that's just enough for that day for a sitting. Not sitting down with a juice of pineapple or a
Hmm.
full bowl of pineapple. Just little
Hmm.
is safe. So another myth we've also heard is dates. I think I heard that one today,
Hmm.
that pregnant women shouldn't take dates. And research has actually proven that at the third trimester, it is recommended for pregnant women to take dates,
Hmm.
as this can help the muscles of the cervix to relax and help the whole childbirthing process. So these are just myths. And then the only thing we have to understand and emphasize here is moderation. So for mothers with maybe gestational diabetes, for
Hmm.
example, you might want to watch out on the quantity of the fruits you're taking, right? You cannot take too much of sugary
Hmm.
fruits. So
Hmm.
those are the red flags. Taking too much of sugary fruits, unripe pawpaw, that's a no-no
Hmm.
during pregnancy. Try avoid taking anything that is unripe. Go for ripe fruits and go
Hmm.
for whole fruits instead of juices.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
You're
I hope we're
welcome.
dropping our questions because, I
Yeah.
mean, Daita Champagne came loaded and she's so ready for us. I hope we're dropping questions and I hope we're learning something. Right. So, let me just ask this one more question.
Okay.
Why do fruits matter in babies, for babies, like
Mhm.
for their first 12 months?
Mhm.
And what fruits are suitable for babies at each stage of, their development?
Okay.
Is it okay for a baby, for instance, to
Mhm.
start taking fruit from their first month?
No.
So at what
Absolutely
at what
not.
at what age should
Okay.
babies start taking fruit?
Okay, so mommies in the house, please, I want us to agree that we've all agreed that for the first 6 months is just breast milk for our babies.
Hmm.
Just breast milk, no water, except when there's a medical condition and the doctor says otherwise, right?
Hmm.
So from 6 months, we can then start introducing our babies to fruits.
Hmm.
And we can start mildly, and we can start with fruits like bananas, fruits like watermelon, fruits like
Hmm.
mangoes, something that is not too harsh, like
Hmm.
going straight into oranges or
Hmm.
pineapples, for example. The acidic content are quite high. So for such fruits, we want to take time to introduce it to them and then introduce them in smaller quantities. So at 6 months, we can start them with mashed bananas, mashed avocados. We can puree it with yogurt and their milk and just make something yummy and sumptuous for them
Hmm.
from there. So yeah, so from 6 to 8 months, they can take certain fruits like bananas, avocados, pawpaw. From 8 to 10 months, we can then progress to pear, apples, and then strawberry, kiwis. Those are also great choices for our babies.
Hmm.
And these provide essential nutrients for their growth and development. Like we know, they are going through a very major growth phase,
Yeah.
and a lot of their organs, their cells are still growing, especially their brain cells. So we
Yeah.
want them to get all the nutrients they need. We don't want them to lack zinc. We don't want them to lack iron. We don't want them to lack vitamin C. We don't want them to lack certain minerals as well. So it's very important to give them fruits.
Hmm. Okay, you mentioned banana earlier. In fact, that was
Yes.
the first fruit you mentioned.
Yes.
So, oh, I've heard that banana is a berry, but anyway,
Okay, that's
any,
interesting.
anyway,
Yeah.
are there, because I know in Nigeria, like, there are variants types of the different types of bananas. Is
Yeah.
there a particular banana that is best for baby at 6 months? So you can take any banana.
Yes, we can take either one of them. So the thing that just happens is they are just different species of banana, right?
Right.
And one is tends to be sweeter than the other. I think the
Mm.
Igbo banana is sweeter than the Yoruba banana, or something like that.
Yes,
So
that's
it's just mostly based on preference for us.
mm.
But when it comes to babies, either one of them is a great choice for them as well.
Right. Thank you. Um, Tell me more about fruits. I know that we're talking about myths and facts
Yes.
um, earlier. So I want to ask you. I know you mentioned pineapple, and pineapple is honestly my own question because I've heard a lot about pineapple as
Yeah.
a pregnant woman. Don't take too much pineapple and all. But how about in children?
In children, so
Yes.
I also try to touch on that. In children, you can introduce them to pineapple, but then we can advise you take, if you are introducing them at 6 months, try to give them little quantities, right? Don't give them too much pineapple. It's just a tiny, you can blend it into their yogurt
Yeah.
and just infuse it into something just to get them to, have a taste of what it tastes like and know if they like it and watch out for allergies. But then if you notice that when you give your child pineapple, there's a reaction. I'm specific about this because that's not common to all children, right? So
Yeah.
for some children, they'll have the reaction, and when they have those reactions, you can do well to, delay your introduction to it. And then whenever you want to introduce it, maybe at 9 months or 12 months, you still start gradually again to watch out if there will still be any reaction. Yeah.
So the very first question, thank you so much. The very first question I asked if fruit is meant for everybody. And I remember that was the first, you said fruit
Yeah.
is meant for everyone. Does
Yes.
this also apply to children? I'm
Yeah.
asking because, like, at each stage, right? Like, for instance, a baby cannot eat coconut, for instance, right?
Yes.
Because it's too hard and all of that. But, like, does this also completely apply to babies? Like, can they also eat all fruits? Because I know some people, like, they feel like I can't just give my child all types of fruits immediately. Also, because I don't know how they'll react to it,
Exactly.
right?
Exactly.
So, are there fruits that, oh, pipe down, don't take this one yet because I don't know how this child would react to it? Are there fruits like that?
Yes, there are fruits like that. Pineapple for one. Orange is another one. Mostly citric fruits, right? But then I understand the concern about textures or introducing a child to a lot of fruits at once. So usually we recommend for mothers, right, when we are introducing our babies to fruits, don't start with fruit salad or mixing juices together. Start with one fruit at a time. So if you're starting with watermelon, maybe give them watermelon, observe how they eat it. Are there any reactions? Did they really like it? And then from watermelon, you can progress to giving them bananas, observe their reactions. Do they like it? And then when you're giving them these fruits, also pay attention to the textures, because a 6-month-old baby that is used to liquid milk will not automatically want to eat a chunk of watermelon. So you might want to blend it. Avoid sieving it because we need the fiber for them. Okay, so don't juice it, just blend it and then give them like in smoothie forms. That's more advisable and recommended.
Hmm. Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you so much,
That's
dietitian. You
very
sound like a doctor. To
well.
me, you
Some people
sound
say we're
like
doctors of food,
yeah,
doctors of
you're a
this, but
doctor.
yeah,
Oh,
doctors
because
is
I mean, this knowledge you're just dishing out, and thank you
yeah.
for it.
Thank you very
So we have
much.
some questions already. I will just go straight into it, right?
Okay.
The first question says, my baby is 8 months old and is not eating well. He's
Yeah.
not eating well at all. No breast milk. He's only be on baby food, nan and the likes, and then pap. But he's not even taking that pap so well, right? And he's not gaining weight as he should. What should this dear mother do?
Dear mother, honestly, I feel your pain and I understand how much pressure you're probably putting on yourself and how much work you've put into this process. I mean, it's not easy to get a baby to eat, and it's also not very difficult to be feeding a child and they are not receiving it, and then they are not growing as well like we expect. So first of all, well done. You're doing a great job. I mean, for you to ask this question, that means you are here to, know more about how you can help your child. And then now let's talk about the baby, right? First of all, I would like to ask, I wish I could, ask you directly, but then I would like to believe that you introduced your child to complementary foods as at 6 months, because sometimes parents can delay this introduction, and that can also affect the child's receptiveness
Hmm.
towards complementary foods, right?
Hmm.
So try, in such a case, I would recommend that you try different varieties. Now, I'm giving the child the same cereal over and over again, just like with adults, it will get boring, it will get tiring, and we just want to give them varieties. So, what the child is accepting, number one, let's make it nutrient dense. So, how do we make that little quantity the child is taking very nutrient dense? You can give eggs, you can, blend eggs into it. If you have granules, you can make it into paste and just add it into it. Those are just ways to fortify that little pap the child is taking. So the pap is not just bland, plain pap, but a fortified pap, such that even in the two scoops, the two spoons the child will take, the child is getting all the nutrients they need. And then when we now want to explore different foods, you can try with other recipes. Introduce your child to yogurt, for example, Greek yogurt, blend it with avocado, add bananas to it, just 3 or 4 recipes, and that's fine. We don't want to overload the child with varieties at once, because then we cannot track what the child is reacting to. We cannot track what the child doesn't like. Some babies, just like us, we might not like food a certain type of way.
Yeah.
Let me paint a scenario. If I come and visit you in your houses and you serve me bread and you dip the bread in tea, I might not like it as a person, but you enjoy it. And the same way goes for babies. They might like bread and tea, they might just not like it dipped in the tea. So sometimes they might not like it when you blend their eggs with their puree. They might prefer to eat it separately. They might not like it when you blend their fish with their ewedu. They might prefer to eat it separately. So try different methods with the same recipe. And one key thing I always tell mothers is try 4 recipes and switch one ingredient up like within 3 days. So if you are giving them potatoes, mashed potatoes, avocado, eggs, next tomorrow try and swap the potato with maybe rice and observe how they are receptive towards it. That way you can learn what your child likes. And also remember, you have to be very, very patient, because a child was not born to know how to eat.
Oh,
They have to actually learn how to eat. And that's where our job comes in. We just have to be patient enough to teach them this.
thank you.
You're
Thank you.
welcome.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I'll ask you the second question. There is another
Okay.
question. Um, this person says, I have a year-old baby boy
Mm-hmm.
who has not been feeding well. I did exclusive breastfeeding for him, but when he reached 6 months mark, it became a struggle to transition into solid for him. His chubby looks dropped drastically and his weight so low for his age. He's 7 kg. The last time we checked, we have tried 2 different hospitals for him, but all what they said was he should be forced to eat. I think we really need to talk about that, being like forcing children to eat. In fact, I've tried a lot of different things for him to eat. He likes fruit though, but we really don't have much for a fruit diet all the time. And he also likes Greek yogurt with banana, cereal and pap, but he doesn't take rice, beans, or the likes. He only just takes little bits and then rejects the rest.
Yeah.
I feel he needs more to add more weight and eat his milestones too. What can be done to achieve this? I think we really need to touch on
Forcing
forcing
children.
children to eat,
Yes.
because I mean, as an adult, if
Mhm.
somebody forces me to eat, I don't think I would enjoy that food.
And
So
I'll never want to eat that
and I will
food
never want to.
again.
So I'm just imagining a child,
Mm-hmm.
forcing a child to eat something that they don't want to eat,
Yeah.
and I get the pain, especially from the mom, because my child is just not eating, he's not growing as he should, and like you're just worried all the time. What do you think can be done? Because I know a lot of women struggle with this, a lot of moms struggle with this. What do
Yeah.
you think can be done to
help in
help.
such situations.
Yes.
Okay. Like she said, no, we stand against forcing a child to eat because you're just creating a negative reaction to food. And every time they see food, they feel fear. Every time they see food, they feel pressured. And that's not what we want them to feel. Like I said, we're teaching them how to eat, right? So we have to be very slow and very patient with them and be ready to go down to that their level.
Mm.
Like we always say, children will humble you. And this is one of those stages where they will humble you again, you know. So we just have to be very patient with them. And for this mother, honestly, you're doing a great job. And it's really, really very difficult. And children can be very picky, but um don't compare your child to other children.
Mm.
Understand that children are uniquely,
Mm.
like they are unique in themselves.
Yeah.
So a child, the fact that your firstborn ate a lot doesn't mean your secondborn would. They just have like different choices and different preferences, right? So some of the advice I gave earlier is also what I will say here. The good thing is there are some foods your child already likes, which is excellent. So now let's build on that. So you said your child already likes Greek yogurt, your child likes pap, and let's start with that. The Greek yogurt, try mixing different fruits in it. Try blending vegetables in it.
Mm.
Try and when I say different things, I'm not saying we should now, pack like 8, 10 ingredients together.
Mm.
No. We can just start with 4, 5. Try giving, that yogurt in different forms. And from there, you might introduce something into that yogurt that you notice the child likes. So the next time you're giving that child yogurt, you might remove the yogurt
Mm.
and leave that particular thing you notice the child enjoyed with the yogurt,
Mm.
and then try that with the child alone. If you notice the child is receiving it, then you can now build on that one too. Try something new into it
Mm.
and just keep building based on that. And as you're building flavors, let me put it that way, also build textures too. So you
Yeah.
don't want to give a child that is already 1 year, continue giving a child puree. You also want the
Yeah.
child to start chewing. And then another thing is try to create a healthy feeding habit. Like eat with the child. Let the child eat when everybody is eating. Let put the child on the table when everyone is eating. Sometimes this can encourage children to eat. Like
Mm.
we've seen that happen over and over again. And then let them feed themselves too. The habit of touching the food is creating a sensory receptor, and they are enjoying the texture, and then
Mm.
feeding themselves sometimes also helps rather than feeding them. No forcing, and then have a scheduled time to feed them.
Mm.
So if you are feeding them breakfast, have a particular time you feed them breakfast, have a particular time you feed them lunch, have a particular time you feed them dinner. You are creating an habit to for their
Yeah.
brain and their body, so they also crave
Mm.
food, right? I hope that really helps.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah,
you so much.
you.
I know she mentioned that, he likes fruits,
Yes.
right? And she mentioned something about having a fruit diet, like not having enough to have a fruit
Yes, that's
diet. I don't
too.
know if
We need to bridge
children.
that gap
Yes,
because
please.
even as a family, you also have to have a good fruit diet before
Okay.
you encourage your baby to have a good fruit diet, right? So definitely something has to be done about the fruit diet. Also, pay attention to avoid giving too much fruit. So you don't want them
Mm.
to be filled with fruit and not eat actual foods, right?
Yes.
We're not replacing foods with fruit here. We're just introducing a little quantity of fruits, to support the food, right? So it's very,
Mm.
very important. And then you can also subscribe to CountryLife. Don't worry, they'll take it upon themselves to supply you with fruits monthly, weekly, based on what works for you. And I think that's a very perfect plan that you can join.
Thank you. Thank you for mentioning this. In case you missed it, Country Life is a wellness initiative that is targeted at helping individuals take their health seriously. At the hub, that's Country Life, we have dietitians. Example, case
Yay.
in point, just see the person that will be taking care of you here.
Yeah.
A fitness coach, we have nurses and doctors that coordinate wellness programs for our clients, our mommies, our daddies, aunties, uncles.
Yeah.
We have a wellness initiative that's tagged Project Fruit 365. 365 already means
All year
all
round.
year round. You get that?
Yeah.
A fruit subscription service designed to make healthy eating convenient for Nigerians. Healthy fruit eating convenient for Nigerians. We have a specialized pregnancy care fruit package where we've curated fruit that contains essential nutrients for pregnant women. And like our doctor said, if as a pregnant woman, if you're feeding yourself, you're also feeding your baby. In fact, you're not just feeding the baby in the womb, you're feeding the baby such that even after the baby is born or it or she
Yeah.
she's born with, a somewhat built immune system, right?
Yes.
Also, Nesta Hub. I think you also missed this. Nesta Hub is a community that supports moms and babies, right? It's a hub that we realize at Nesta Hub. We realize that motherhood can be overwhelming sometimes. You care for your baby, you care for your family, right? And sometimes you just forget to do some very important things. We focus on convenience. We focus on convenience. We bring baby essentials to you at your convenience, right? You don't have to leave your house. We're just a hub away, a click away. Just go to the website, click on the website, you would see all your baby items, right? You can order from the comfort of your home, and we're very, very affordable. And then we deliver to your doorstep for a token, just a token, right?
Okay.
So that's what Nesta Hub does. We try to make motherhood, less stressful. We know it's not
It's not
it's
easy.
not easy, right? It's
It's not
not easy
easy.
to be a mom and to also be a wife,
Yeah.
right? So we try to make motherhood, less stressful. That's what we do at Nesta Hub, and that is what country life is about. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Dr.
Thank
Faye.
you for having
I
me.
think we should lastly, me, I'm very in for debunking myths, right? Because
Okay.
as especially as first time moms,
Mm-hmm.
right, you hear a lot of do's and don'ts. Don't give your baby this, don't give your baby that, don't give your baby this, and
Yeah.
you're confused because there's so much information. And
Mm-hmm.
even if you go online, like, you realize that it's still the same things that
You'd
you would
see.
see, because everybody's digital, the world is digital, and
Yeah.
everybody's just dropping information that they feel is right,
Mm-hmm.
online, without actually consulting
Mm-hmm.
with a specialist. So I
Okay.
want you to help us debunk some myths.
Okay. So I'm trying to remember some meats other than pineapples and dates. I think I saw one. I mean, yeah, Zobo, and it's true. It's true. Because that also can trigger contractions, especially in the early stages of pregnancy. So we advise and recommend mothers to stay clear of that. You
How
can
about zobo that is
pregnancy.
infused with pineapple,
Thank you. I was going to
orange?
get there because that's when you tell me that that's the only way you can take your fruits. Like, no, we're not accepting that. So you can take your Zobo after delivery, right? But then during pregnancy, just try and avoid it. I know you might like it, you might be used to it, but it's just the little sacrifices we just have to pay at that particular period. So Zobo is another common one. I think I saw one about, is it carrots making the baby yellow? I don't know if that's common. When I saw it, I had to laugh because, of course, carrots cannot make your baby yellow. There's no how,
Yeah, but
and
carrot
there's
is
no.
good for clear skin
Thank
now.
you to glow, so you can glow during pregnancy. I mean, we want to look good by being pregnant. We don't want to look burnt out, like the stress we're actually going through. Like we say, we don't want to look like our
Oh,
problems.
yes, so
So please eat your carrots. They have beta carotenes and other essential antioxidants that are very, very good during pregnancy. So eat those. At the end of the day, we just have to be careful of some and take some in moderation and pay attention to moderation. And I think another mistake mothers make is taking fruit juices. We think, okay, taking a fruit juice is a
hmm,
better option, both
yeah,
for mommies and babies.
yeah.
We shouldn't, instead, take your fruit whole. Buy your fruits rather than buying a pack of juice. And for our babies, one mistake we made is we introduce them early to fruit juice packs. And even the American Association of Nutrition recommends that it's maybe around 2 years of age before you introduce your baby to such. So try avoiding, I don't want to mention names of any parks, but then just try and avoid that. Yeah.
Also, because I think I know that, maybe not know, don't let me be, but like, there are drinks that babies they give to babies. They're packaged as,
Yeah.
fruit juice, but we
Yes.
know this content is sugar, and
Exactly.
we already know that sugar is a no-go, right,
Mm-hmm.
for babies, especially babies under 2 years old.
Yes.
So what other options, and again, because some babies they just prefer to drink because they're already used to taking breast milk,
Yeah.
they prefer liquid,
Mm-hmm.
so what I think what I'm trying to ask is, I want you to help, sensitize moms
Yeah.
to know that I think it's better to juice their fruits for their
Mm-hmm.
babies.
Mm-hmm.
But I now have a question,
Mm-hmm.
because when you juice fruits, it's not like you're getting all the nutrients, is
Yeah.
it?
You're getting all the nutrients quite all right. But then
Hmm.
the issue I now have is when you now sieve it or use a juicer that removes the shaft. That's separating the fiber from the sugar. So
Yes.
it's just like putting a brake while driving. So the fiber is like the brake, and then the sugar is, just the driving, right? So if you're
Hmm.
just driving without the brake, that can lead to a lot of sugar spikes. So we need to
Hmm.
make sure that the fiber is included. Avoid sifting it, avoid juicing and removing the shaft. Give them the fiber, let them take it that way. It's preferable.
Hmm.
Yeah,
But it will be rough now.
and they will get used to it. Just try it, and if they like it, then you can puree it, make it into maybe a watery kind of pap consistency, not
Hmm.
the thick adult pap you get, and then
Yeah.
gradually you progress from there to now giving them whole fruits, because that's the goal, right?
Hmm.
And then also another thing mothers need to pay attention to is nutrition facts and nutritional labels. So like you
Yeah.
mentioned earlier, I think that was what reminded me.
Hmm.
Talking about the sugar contents of these juice packs. If we look at the back, you look at extra nutrients, they will write sugars there. Those are the details you need to pay attention to. You want to avoid added sugars, you want to avoid giving your child sugar and honey like within the first 1 to 2 years of age. You
Hmm.
get so pay attention to what is written at the back of their foods and even their cereals when you buy them. Read the labels, know what you're giving your baby.
Hmm. Okay, so speaking on that sugar I mentioned earlier, right, and honey, and when do you think is the right time to introduce sugar or honey to our babies?
Mm-hmm.
And some people say it's bad for children under 2 years old.
Yeah.
Some people,
I agree. I
yes.
have some people too.
How then do you sweeten their meals,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
How then do you what other fruits? Because when I think of sweetening meals, the first thing that comes to mind is maybe apple puree or
Exactly.
just that. But like,
Apple,
which other?
bananas. We can also give them dates, right? So we can sweeten
Children
with
can
dates.
eat
Yes.
dates,
So
even
they're
children under 2.
6 months. Yes. From 6 months, we can introduce them to dates
Hmm.
because they're iron rich and they are rich in fiber, and then they can also help to sweeten their
Yeah.
food naturally. So I mean, it's a better option compared to sugar or honey. So that's another way to sweeten their foods. Yeah, even
But should
their
this be done
pancakes
in,
and all.
in moderation, or
Huh?
like as the spirit
No,
leads?
in moderation, please. In moderation, everything, food, whether macro, micro, fruits, vegetables. I think it's only vegetables we can ever recommend you to take generously. When it
Hmm.
comes to carbohydrates, proteins, and other things, moderation is still very, very, very important. Yeah.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
This I have just one more
One-
question. Just
okay.
one more question.
Yeah.
Right. Is it true that whenever you eat or whatever you eat
Mm-hmm.
during pregnancy,
Mm-hmm.
you get where I'm going to now?
I can see the vision.
Is it true that
Yeah.
whatever you eat during pregnancy is
Mm-hmm.
what your baby will like
No,
when they're born?
not necessarily at all. It's I feel sometimes it's just cravings we're having at that point during pregnancy. The babies likes differs entirely. They are an entire person on their own.
Hmm.
So they differ. Their flavor profile is completely different. So we can't say it's because when I was pregnant, I was eating a lot of rice. This baby will love rice, and then you introduce your baby to rice at 6 months, and the baby is like, no. So that's definitely a myth because no, there's no scientific proof at least. So
Right.
yeah,
Okay, thank you so much,
thank you for
Dietitian
having
Faye.
me.
It's been a wonderful time on this
Mhm.
life. I've learned a lot, and all thanks to Dietitian Faye. And I hope that you took one or two things. I hope that you did. Thank you so much for joining us.